Hi there everybody, and welcome to another video. On today's video I have this BMW 2 Series. This is a 218 and it's a 2000 this car is a 2015 I think. I'll double check. And I'm having an issue with the tire pressure monitor system here, the RDC, and I've got the little amber light there coming on, and the system is not resetting, so it's unable to reset. I tried it a few times already and it's just not doing it. So what I've done is I'm checking. I've just been I plugged it into the computer. I'm going to show you in a minute here. The fault code I'm getting here is this one. I mean, I'm also getting this fault code, but that's a different one. I'm dealing with the wheel electronics no reception integrated RDC here. So if we look at that, basically what it's telling me is that front left wheel electronics no reception. Following fault data are, these are the following fault codes stored, and then you can have a look here at the description. The fault is stored in the wheel electronics are no longer received. Conditions for fault memory entry, it just shows you the conditions that there needs to be. So you need to drive it above 25 kilometers per hour and so on. Error debounce if it's longer than 10 minutes, and then measure in service. Run the test procedure for troubleshooting. Possible fault causes: a wheel without wheel electronic has been installed, a wheel with incompatible wheel electronics, the end of the battery cycle, wheel electronics faulty, or the installed tire wheel rim combination does not correspond. So those can be the problems in there. And then you have perceptible effect on customer warning light active. So anyway, if we continue on that, it says here possible fault causes: the end of the life battery of the cycle has merely been reached. We saw that already. A wheel is installed without wheel electronics, a wheel with incompatible wheel electronics, one of the wheel electronic system is faulty, tire rim or remote control receiver is incompatible. At the moment, the front wheel sensor has been replaced, and it's brand new in this particular car. So this is basically what happens here. You have 4 sensors, and they all communicate with this little box. And I've had an issue before with the same problem, and the fault was with the little box. Also here, this is showing me the recommendation here is: currently an incompatible remote control receiver is installed. As a result, the reception of the wheel electronics may be disrupted sporadically. So replace the following: remote control receiver. That would be this one here. Now, where can we find that in this car? If you look at the wiring diagram, this is the receiver here. So I'm just going to click on that, and it's telling me this is one. So it's telling me it's in this area here: driver's side, rear, under the panel where the window is. So we're gonna have a look at that. I'm taking it out, and I'm gonna replace it anyway. So we'll see how we get on with the replacement of that. But usually the fault that occurs with this kind of issue, it relates to the receiver rather than one of the sensors here. So if I click on that, these are the sensors that are installed on the wheels basically. So anyway, let's look at the receiver. Okay, so I've been trying to investigate how to get behind this panel for this sensor, for this remote control sensor that it's located behind, just under here. So I want to remove the whole panel here so I can have proper access. I have pulled it out a bit, as you may be able to see, and I can already spot the sensor hiding just behind there. Right, can't quite see it, but it's just behind there, and to get proper access I want to get this out. So I removed, there's a little cover up here, which is, it says airbag. So with one of these very thin flathead screwdrivers you can take it out. You can take the little cover out, and in there you will find a Torx screw. That Torx screw will be just holding the panel in there. It's like a T25, I think. My tool is not really showing the size anymore, but it's something like a T25. The next thing, it's you will be able to unplug it here a little bit from that clip there, and also you need to pull it out a bit. It's a bit difficult, this part here. It's so basically this bit of the roof is sitting in between there, so you can't pull this out unless you push the bit of carpet. It looks like carpet, but this bit of roof, you push it up and then you're able to pull this out. It's a little bit tricky. You don't really need to remove this. I was just looking to see if there's any screws in there, so I really need to pull this back in there somehow. And the other thing is that you need to pull this carpet, this bit of carpet here, or panel, down from here. Push it down, and in there you'll be able to find some 8mm there's two 8mm bolts here, so I was just removing those with this. You can't quite see them. There is one, and the other one is just to the left. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those, and there might be another one under here as well, I'm not sure, but at least we can release the two in here and we can start getting somewhere. So I'm gonna remove those two and see how far this comes out. Okay, with the two screws out, I managed to manipulate this out a bit. You have to be careful with this pin here so it doesn't damage your roof like I damaged it a little bit there. So be careful with when you're pulling that, and you have another one there, but make sure you press this down in order to get it out. But it's really a bit hard because this carpet is really tough. Now if there's any other easier ways of removing this, by all means let me know, because I'm always happy to hear other people's experiences on the matter. Okay, now maybe I can leave it like that. I may not have to completely remove it because the sensor we're looking for is that one there, and that is held in by a Phillips. It also got really dark by the time I tried to find out how to remove these. So okay, let's get this light up here. And is that a little Phillips, or is that kind of thing? Looks a bit more like a rivet or something. And also it's like a plastic screw. Which it's going a little bit round and round. I mean, the head of it is getting bit damaged, to be honest. I can't seem to be able to remove it. Okay. The head is definitely getting round and damaged. It's just a bit of plastic, bit really silly cheap quality. I don't know why they would put that on there. Unless there's another way of taking it out. I'm not sure. This also just plugs in there, and then you have that bit there. So I'm gonna try to remove that bit. You can also disconnect that, but we'll disconnect that in a second. I'm gonna try to remove that screw first, and if I get any tips, I'll let you know. Okay, so I got it out. It is like a little Phillips screw in there, but it's also a little plastic clip, one of those that you pull the center and then the clip comes out. This type of thing. When you push the center in, these two pins here expand and then hold the thing in place. However, it does have a little Phillips head in there, because you technically are supposed to be able to undo it and open it. But it is so hard in there that the way I took it out is I just pulled it out with this, because the head got completely round of this little plastic thing. Perhaps you can spray a little bit of WD-40 before you remove it. So by all means, learn by my mistakes, and you take care of your car. I guess that's one way of doing it. And then you can see there's a tiny little clip in there. If I can get with my screwdriver in there, we can pull this connection out. There we are. Oops. Okay, doesn't matter if I drop it. I'm getting a new one. This is around 57 pounds, they said. This is the second one I'm changing on this on a BMW. What I meant to say. I changed that on a 3 Series previously, and this is a 218 2 Series. So that's it. That's the bit that you will find hiding right there. But you have to take this out, and it's a bit of a pain in the neck, but once you get it out, then you can change it. And so we're gonna fit the new one and see what happens. I'm getting a new one tomorrow, and hopefully that is going to sort the tire pressure monitoring system. And another thing, this also this is connected to the car key system. So if you have it out, you won't be able to start the car. So I just noticed that I'm gonna have to just reconnect it in order to be able to start the car, because I just come to move the car and I couldn't start it. It was telling me that the remote control is missing. So just reconnected it temporarily. Obviously I still have my tire pressure monitor fail, which seems to be the same unit. So anyway, we'll see how we get on with the new one. Okay, so a day has gone past. I got the part. This is the bad one actually, because I already plugged in the new part. So just in case you are facing the same issue, this is the part number here, and this was called a remote controlled unit or something like that. So this controls the the tire pressures, but it also has something to do with ignition. So I replaced it, and good news. The good news is that all the tires are now registering, and I'm getting a reading. So I went for a little drive, because you have to go for a little drive in order for the system to reset. And what I'm gonna do now, let's have a look at this. So you may notice that I've got no issues now, no lights anymore. So if I start the car, lights disappeared, and I didn't have to do anything with the computer. Everything disappeared by itself as I went down for drive, and all the tire pressures came up on the display as you drive. So you have to drive for the system to measure it, but it measured and it had no issues. I got a picture of it, so I will show you the picture, because I'm not gonna go for a drive now, but there's no issues anymore. So the check control here is just showing the door open now, but that's it really. So now I can go ahead and delete the fault codes that were stored in the system. So just opening here ISTA, and I'm gonna go to new there, read out vehicle data, and then just do a complete identification. And for this process, obviously you can have the car running or you don't have to have it running, but ignition needs to be on. Then that takes a little while to detect the connection that you have. In this case I have that in it, and then set up connection. Now it's going to read the car, and it's going to read the ECU and find out all the devices that are installed. As already mentioned, this car is a Series 2, so a BMW 2 Series. F45, is that what it is? So that's all I'm going to do now. I'm going to reset the original fault codes I had, and that's it really. The next thing will be to fit this box where it came from, which would be up there, as we saw, and we need to put the pin, that little pin that came out, and obviously refit everything back here. So that will be my next job. Don't think I need to film all of that, because it's just a matter of if you removed it then you'll know how to fit it back. In this case, we're just gonna wait for those fault codes to be read out, and then we can have a look at that. Okay, so I'm just gonna delete these all these fault codes here, and then that will just take a minute or so, and then I will have to check that oxygen sensor fault later. I think they suggest to clean the contacts for that. Clean the contacts first, and then see if that fault comes back, and otherwise possibly have to replace that sensor, the oxygen sensor. But anyway, concentrating on this remote control receiver here, which has definitely sorted my issue with the tire pressure sensors, which are able to communicate now, which is really good news. So all of these has been deleted, and happy days. So having showed you where the remote control device is fitted, and how it is fixed, my issue may actually help you if you were trying to sort out an issue with your car. Also, some garages that change tires have a device to check if the wheel sensors are working. Each wheel has a sensor that sends a signal to the remote control, that little box we removed. And obviously if one of those is not working, then you may have a similar problem where it doesn't register. So you can go to a tire shop and ask them to check, make sure your sensors are working. Once you know that, then you can proceed with possibly replacing the little box. If these, like me, I drove this for 20 minutes yesterday, and it wouldn't reset. It just come up with a fault, the fault that we saw. So having said all of that, hope the video helps somehow, and don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.